Today I'm talking about how Kanye West made $5 billion in 4 years. Now, Kanye West recently went on the Joe Rogan podcast and it blew up. Everyone has probably seen it by now. If you've not seen it, go check it out in the description below. He basically went on the Joe Rogan podcast and talked about his idea for society, and now it was very, very inspirational. And if you've seen a lot of people in the news, sort of, they always bash Kanye West because they don't really understand him properly and everything else like that. What he was actually talking about in this whole entire podcast is very inspirational, to be fair. He's going on about how he went from, in 2016, 2015, from $58 million in debt to having a net worth of $5 billion. This is what he claims, basically. And there's a lot of people trying to go against him, going, "Yeah, not got $5 billion." But to be fair, the man with the money in his account is going to know. The man with the money in his bank accounts and business bank accounts is going to know. So today we're going to talk about how this man made all of his money. Now, he sort of goes on about it in the podcast, but we're going to go more in depth into how he actually did it. Now, I guarantee you, he doesn't have all this money, $5 billion, sitting in his bank account right now. It's not how it works. Jeff Bezos only gets, I believe, $81,000 a year from his salary from his company. That doesn't mean that he's not the richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos has so much Amazon stock that it's worth so much money. And all that Amazon stock is just sitting there. It's worth so much money. And when he decides to sell the shares in his actual company, then he will get that money. Recently in August, I believe he sold $3 billion worth of the shares. And when you sell the shares, you basically get capital gains tax, which is 30% of your whatever assets you actually decide to sell. Now, well, not assets, it's more for stock-based assets. Basically, when you have stocks in a company, or you've bought stocks in some certain company, then you will get capital gains tax. And that is how Kanye West has been able to get his billions up throughout just literally just spreading his influence across the world. One of the biggest ways that he's managed to do this is through his Yeezy deal. Now, Yeezy have signed a deal with clothing-based company Gap. It's a 10-year long deal, which has basically put his net worth up to at least $3 billion. Now, it's not just Gap that he has a deal with. He also has a deal with Adidas. It's a collaboration deal, and also a collaboration deal with Gap as well. Because of Yeezy's influence and because of his designs and everything else like that, he's managed to actually create with his fashion company a really, really trusted brand that a lot of people know for great sneakers, just for the hype culture behind it. And because a lot of fashion markets see this, and a lot of companies in the fashion industry see his influence, then they're trying to buy a piece of that. And also because of the fact that the man has got so many different ideas that he can spill onto the plate. Now, fashion industry is where he makes most of his money. Yeezy is where he makes literally the majority of his money. But that's not his only source of income. His other sources of income is music. Now, he goes into depth talking about how music. So I've seen an article, they're getting a bit off topic, but I've seen an article from Forbes saying, like, well, really, he should be making more money from music, ha 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 ha. And then basically Kanye said, well, to be fair, I didn't have all of my masters from my couldn't get my words out, my record label. And even though he's been selling all these albums, selling all these tours, selling everything like that, he didn't have the masters for his own tracks. And now basically what that means is the fact that he has all of his songs, but every time it goes to a radio and it's played on a radio, every time it gets streamed, he doesn't get paid all them royalties. It mostly goes to the label. The label pays him a big lump sum for that deal, and he has all that money for that deal. Now, I believe as well he does earn a certain percentage, but it's not every single bit. Kanye, if he wanted to, could, if he got rid of his record label, he could completely sell everything and make more money. Now but because of originally getting into this massive deal, he's been trapped and just hasn't got all the money that he's been hoping for. Now, that is why originally he went into debt, because music was his only source of income. Now, this is why today I'm going to talk about how Kanye did it, was literally just thinking outside the box and thinking, oh, right, okay, I can't just rely on music for a source of income. I've got to also invest money into different platforms. Now, obviously, Yeezy was one of the main platforms. He had an inspiration just to create sneakers, create fashion, and he's always had an inspiration to do it. But with the massive scale that he's been able to do with building ranches in Wyoming and all these other places, he's been able to actually manufacture all of these different different sneakers on a massive scale, and also not just the shoes and everything that he got as well. He's been able to create clothes and everything else like that. I don't know the specifics of what he creates now. I just know that the shoes are the massive game that loads of people are interested in, and because of the fact he's signing deals with Gap and Adidas, then he's been able to get loads of money as well from these companies. And not just the fact that he's been able to sign big deals. When he signs, I believe this is the case anyway, when he signs these big deals, he also has shares in Adidas and Gap before they go the actual before it goes public. Now, if he decided to just keep all them shares in Gap when it was dead cheap, so let's say Gap decided to pay him in shares of the company of Gap, and it just started to rise in price, then he would get all the money from Gap. But if he decided to invest some of his own money into Gap before they knew about the deal, then his share price is going to raise even more. And that's how all these big entrepreneurs are getting the millions and billions today from having public companies. Now, these public companies are not going to be some small companies. It's got to be something that's worth investing into, something that fixes problems and fixes solutions. Kanye's Yeezy trainer always fixes solutions, because he sees it and he's like, all right, okay, well, I don't like the fact that laces are there. They're apparently a lot more comfy. I've never bought some myself, but they're a lot comfier and very fashionable. There's loads of different places. There are loads of different factors about what he did with Yeezy that has literally in a short amount of time managed to become one of the best shoes in the world. Just from the collaboration with Adidas, going okay, well, I want the boost on the bottom. I want just the fact that it's meant to fit the shoe fit the foot properly, to just give them a give them a good what. I don't even know the full metrics behind it. I remember him sort of saying on this podcast that the sort of tongue on the shoe and everything like that, he sort of wants to get rid of and everything, because it's not the most ideal thing, and to sort of have something that goes around and fits the top of your foot perfectly. The guy has so many ideas. Another point that I'm going to get onto is not just Yeezy that's making him loads of money, it's also his real estate. Now, you may know that he bought a big ranch in Wyoming, bought big amount of real estate in loads of different places, and now he's building loads of different houses and so much more. What he's doing is taking his money out and investing it back into himself. Now, that is the way he's managed to make so much money. He's made money from one area of his business, invested it into another area of business, and keep on quadrupling. Amazon. If you look at Amazon, I know we're getting a bit off topic, but if you look at how Amazon actually work, Amazon are not just making all the money from Amazon.com. Amazon have also bought this company, that company, this company, that company, like Twitch, Whole Foods, so many different companies that are under the Amazon branch. Now, if people see that Amazon have all these companies behind them, as well as the massive website, the massive e-commerce platform that they have, then people will be more likely to invest into Amazon's actual stock. Now, if Amazon's stock goes up, then everyone's price goes up as well. Now, that's how they've managed to make a lot of the money, and then they reinvest all this back into the different little sections of the business, and they make loads of money. Now, that is what Kanye West is doing right now, and let me tell you, in 10 years he probably will be one of the richest people on this planet. And I'm telling you right now, he will be, just from the way his mind works and the way everything he's setting up. Right, that's pretty much everything. Thank you all for watching. I know this is a bit scattered. I just thought we'd talk about how Kanye made his money, and we'll just sort of get into it. So thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more content, just basically showing you how to make money online and the way other people make their money online as well. Leave a like again, like I mentioned, and I'll see you later. Thank you for watching.